Right, that's that little task pretty much done. Thing that goes around the drive shaft, so if it comes loose, it just goes nugga 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 around there, nugga nugga nugga. Also, it just goes nugga 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 around there, nugga nugga nugga. Anyone new watching this right at this point in time, subscribe. It's not hard, just do it. Push the button, and otherwise you'll miss out on all of this and my grubby face once a week, or sometimes twice a week, or once every 2 weeks, or however it might work out. Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs YouTube channel. Dave here, Redo Dave, as I'm kind of named myself. Really, no one's called me that except me. I just kind of thought it was funny, but anyway, so another episode on the Area 51. Got the old body out on the driveway. I can get access to what I got to do here. So that's the big question. What have I got to do? Heaps is what I've got to do. So I ain't gonna do it self. Oh my god, that washing machine. Okay, so really should stop saying okay so for every time I switch this camera on, but anyway, so carry on with the chassis. I reckon, like, there's still a lot to do, preparation and descaling and stuff, but first up I'm just going to work my way from the back forward basically. I've still got to finish welding these 4-link brackets and that fish plates onto the chassis. I've got to do something with this center bearing cross member, and I made a mistake when I put these plates. It's all just kind of tacked in. I got a bit carried away. It's not proper tacked. Some of it's kind of welded, and now I'm really regretting that, because I didn't kind of do the whole kind of diamond shape on these. I just put squares on, and I think that might catch me out when it comes to certification time. So I'm going to have to cut the corners off these and diamond them up. Apparently it, according to the science, kind of creates stress points if you've got things kind of just whacked on their square, apparently, according to the Low Volume Technical Association, or whatever they're called. So I've got to do that, which is going to be a bit of a bitch cutting some of these welds where I've gone a bit far down, which we'll get there. And the other thing I've got to do is this drive shaft loop. Now, because I've got a 2-piece shaft, I have to have 2 drive shaft loops, and one of them is going to be mounted to the body, which will be the front one. Don't look at that, we won't talk about it. And the other one is this one here. And when I thought I was being all clever and scientific about how I was designing this, I thought that I needed way more clearance than I actually do, but I don't. So I've kind of made it goofily too big. So what I just got to do is extend out this suspension travel as far as it'll go, and then see where I need to remake the bottom half of the drive shaft loop, and I'll have to find some more flat bar for that to make that. It doesn't, you could almost have a piece of flat bar going straight across, but I think they like a little bit of a curve in it, or some kind of shape to it. I don't really know. It's kind of, yeah, if you buy one of their ones off the shelf, it's just a big circle, whereas when you kind of make things to fit the things that you've already made, it doesn't always pan out that way. So I'm going to make one that just bolts on to that what we've already got. So that's what I'm planning on doing in this episode, carrying on, redoing and finishing some stuffish. Also, I bought a needle scaler, so when I can start messing around with getting the worst of the crap off the chassis with that. Hopefully my compressor can run it. But these birds are real noisy today. Righty ho, I'm going to start with working out where I'm going to put some angle on these. I'm thinking of cutting this kind of piece off. I was short on materials and I don't know why I did this, but I think this will come off and I'll make up a nicer gusset to go in there, I reckon. So I'll start with drawing a line down here, like that. And we'll do another one maybe here, like that. So I have to cut that. I'll leave that, but now I have to figure out how to get a line in there. Might have to just eyeball it like that. Something like that. Update. Cut the corners off these, sort of like, what do they call them, fish plates or whatever. It was a bit more of a shit fight than I was anticipating, just to kind of get into my tacks. But we got there in the end. Got a little bit more welding to do than I was planning on, but yeah, it's just a couple of little bits on the lip of the chassis down here. I had to kind of cut through it, so I'll just get in there and weld that back up before I do anything else. Yeah, then we can weld these pieces up, weld those on. I'm going to make a new gussets. I'll cut that little triangular gusset thing I had in there. That was a bit kind of rude looking. I've cut those out, so I'm going to make up a new kind of gusset that goes in there. I was thinking of, I don't know, it kind of needs to have a little bit of, I don't know, the reason I put that in there was if I have to run like fuel lines or something down through here, I kind of wanted to be able to run stuff through the gussets if I need to, rather than having services like fuel and return lines or whatever running down under the chassis or kind of on the outside. At some point it has to cross over either above or below, so I kind of rather brake lines and stuff kind of came down here, but then I've got that 4-link bracket in the way as well, but I have got a little gap inside there that I could run stuff down. So anyway, whatever I do for this gusset, I'm probably going to put some kind of speed hole or something in there just to kind of you know, like, so stuff can travel through it if I need to, you know, like I say, fuel line or brake lines or something. Doesn't have to be much, just enough to maybe, I don't know, like a 20-25 hole, something. But anyway, before I do that, I'm going to weld up these extra cuts that I put into the chassis, so they're done and I'm back to a kind of clean slate. Yeah. Hey, update. Hopefully this camera's alright. I managed to leave it on the floor while I was grinding, and now there's little marks on the lens glass. I used to have a lens protector on there, but I broke it, so I hadn't got another one. Which I probably should have. Anyway, welded. Some better than others. I don't know why. It's just ones I think are going to go mint turn to shit, and the ones I think are going to turn to shit go mint, except for all the kind of upside down, hard to get to stuff. But anyway, that's them all welded up. I'll give it all a bit of a wire brush and clean up and try and scrape off any splatter and stuff like that, and before I kind of move on to the gusset for the cross member. Yeah, okay, so DOS welding. Done all the wire brushing and on the drill and that, cleaned off all the worst of the splatter and stuff. The old cold chisel, just knocked it off. Next, gussets 2 off. God, bit of a brain fade. Might need to get some water and get some hydrating going on. But yeah, show you where we're at. See, that's where we're at. Some of the welds are a bit lumpy bumpy where I missed things and that. Still having heaps of trouble kind of seeing where I'm going with my helmet and stuff. Like I'm dialing in and messing with all the settings and stuff like that. And it's either too bright and then I can't see anything afterwards, or it's too dark and I can't see anything at all while I'm welding. But yeah, they're welded on there. They won't be coming off in a hurry, that's for sure. Like that's a bit, it's not too bad when you get a bit closer. It'll be alright when it's painted black, I reckon. They're just not as kind of pretty as I'd have liked them to have been, but practice makes perfect. By the time I finish this, I might actually be half, kind of maybe average. Alrighty, I even had a crack with this thing on there, and quite good on some of the loose scale and stuff, but I get it so far, and I think the wire brush will, wire wheel, like this type of deal, will get it the rest of the way. These things just give me the willies though, eh? They just flick stuff everywhere. Right, so got a piece of 5mm or just under 1/4 of an inch and a template, and just by chance it's exactly the right length as my piece of steel. So what do I need? Pen, scissors, and let's go. Alrighty, so all I really want to do is kind of put a gusset through here, just as big as that piece of steel is that I've got. So I'm just gonna mark that there, and I'm just gonna take a, you know, like up onto there like that, and then maybe chuck a speed hole in there, or 2, or 3, like that. That'll do us, eh? Okay, so let's go back to the bench and square this away, make it look somewhat like one of them. Alright, just get it back there, I reckon, and then a line through there, cut that, little scissors, just like that. Just gave this a bit of a kind of wire wheelie thing to get the surface rust off it. I'll trace my template on there, just like that. 1, 2. So alright, cut those out and we'll be back. Okay, so got these, so I'm going to go 30, 20, and 12. 30, 20, 12. Now I just got to calculate where I'm going to put them. So 15, 30, and let's say a 20mm gap, and then a 20mm, and then a 20mm gap, and then 12mm. Yeah? So I'm just going to mark my centers. Not exactly the most accurate. Where's the rest of this thing? Here it is. Tell you what, I'll use this little speed square. These bits of plate are still quite hot. And center. Center that way. So what we've got there, about 60. So we go 30 to the center. And we've got right there, so we go with 20 to there. So that'll be my 3 centers, yeah? Center punch. Put that up on there. Center punch isn't terribly sharp at the moment, but should I sharpen it? Yeah. Okay, I can drill some pilot holes. What should I drill it with? Drill. Battery. Get that way. God, I'm making a mess already. Might start it off with this. And some of this. I really should move that MIG out of the way. Oh, yeah. Right, ready? Well, the old D-Walt's getting she's getting a little warm. Finger off the trigger before you relax your grip. Put it down on the slow speeder, man. It was pumping some like heat out of there. Okay, so might need to give them a little on the back, but that's them all drilled, and what a mission that was. I've made enough splinters to last a lifetime. Ended up pulling this big 22mm mamma jammer out to kind of get through the worst of the big hole, and then finished it off with the step a bit. Overheated a second drill, so probably should have just got those cut. Hey Neil, yeah. Anyway, might have a little bit of a clean up, get rid of some of this stuff off the floor, because it's it gets pretty splintery. Back again, ready to go. So this is where they're going to sit. Hopefully you can camera angle on the correctness there, like there. So that's going to sit in there like so. It's just an extra bit of gusseting. There's plenty of guts in this. I was just kind of a bit more concerned about spreading the load, the downward load of the weight of this, even though there's not a lot of weight in it, and you see some of the factory center bearing setups and they're just into sheet steel on a floor and stuff like that. So I reckon this might be alright, I hope, with any luck. So anyway, magnets. I think that's probably the first of many times I'm going to drop this on the floor. Come on, in there, get in there, that's the way. 22, 22, 22, 22. I reckon I might put a couple of little tacks on up the top there and then get it vertical that way. Yeah? Okay, should we try that? Nippers. Might explain why my last little weld was so bad. My whole end of my torch had come unscrewed. Yeah. That's better. Come on. I think that's square. Am I going to regret this? I need to find a way. I think it's square. That's the thing. Using these magnets makes it feel pretty square. Yeah. Pretty positive. What does that look? Look alright, or does it look rude? That's alright, I reckon, eh? That little splattery tack was pretty rude, I'll have to admit. How am I going to weld this? Whoops. Okay, so welded up the other side. Battery ran out about 30 seconds into that, so here I am again now welding up the other side. Already tacked it in place and squared it up. I think we're ready to go, so let's get at it. How do I do this? I need to lay it on the floor. Okay, just giving this a little bit of a whirly jig with the little whirly jigger thing. Good idea to do it while it's really hot, just in case you feel like you want to grab a hold of it. It just quickly reminds you that you probably shouldn't. Alright, that's that little task pretty much done. I might just let that cool off a little bit, and I'll squirt a little bit of black etch onto these just to get them covered for now. It'll probably mostly get sanded off again, but it's just easier to sand that up than it is to kind of clear off all the surface rust and crap like that that accumulates. Hopefully it won't be that long before we're actually doing some final painting stuff on this chassis, hopefully. But anyway, I'll cool that off. After that we're going to do something about this thing there, but yeah, she's still cooking. I might have a bit of a clean up, to be fair, to be honest, to be straight up, to be true. Anyway, let this cool down, then we'll be back. Oh, God. Put it up there, fella. Good on ya. It goes on there, good on there, and my camera. Oh, it's still on. So just having a little bit of a sweep up of all the iron filings and stuff like that that I've just showered the garage bench and floor and stuff like that with, just so it's a bit more pleasant to work in this environment again, even if I am like all filthy like a scumbag. Feather. Alrighty, so got a light dusting of etch primer on all of that stuff we worked on today, which is good, which means less sanding and descaling later on. Looks better with a bit of black on there, and I pour the black on there. That'll kind of smooth out the welds a little bit as well, but not trying to hide anything. Well, maybe a little, the odd bit. But anyway, they're alright, they're alright. They'll hold till they won't. Yeah, next up, modified that drive shaft loop. Not today though, I've had enough for today, so might do that tomorrow or the next day or something. That won't take very long, but I've got to redo the bottom half of my rear drive shaft loop. Loop. Doesn't matter what it's called. It's a thing that goes around the drive shaft, so if it comes loose it just goes nugga around there and doesn't go through the floor and tear your legs off and stuff like that. Anyone new watching this right at this point in time, subscribe. It's not hard, just do it, push the button, and otherwise you'll miss out on all of this and my grubby face once a week, or sometimes twice a week, or once every 2 weeks, or however it might work out. Hey guys, next day, time to do that little drive shaft loop thing. So start getting this thing out of here, out of the way, so I can get into there and get onto it. Washing machine. Right, okay, before I sort of figure out how I need to modify this drive shaft hoop, I've got to kind of build it around where the drive shaft would be at full droop, so it doesn't connect with the bottom of this loop in any way. So I've just got to set this up, jack it all up so it's kind of a full loop droop, like it's hanging from a hoist sort of thing. So then I can figure that out. So I just get that sorted and then yeah, get into it. Alrighty, so that's the wheels off the ground and basically at full droop. So what I've got to determine now, that's actually still pretty close to there, full droop, but I'm going to get 6-inch bags here rather than 7, so that'll clear that. So that means I can almost go straight across there, but I'm not going to, because apparently it needs, I think, a slight kind of curve in it. So I'm just going to do a new piece across there. So I'll start with removing that one and go and see if I've got some flat bar in the steel store. Oh, I think that's it down there. Yes. The other thing with these drive shaft loops, per our low volume regulations here in New Zealand, they either have to be made out of 50 by 5mm flat bar or washing machine. What's it called? It's like, I think it's 25 by 3 round tube. They can be made out of either of those. So I've got some flat bar, I haven't got some tube, and already made half of it out of flat bar, and the other one's made out of flat bar, so this one will be made out of flat bar. I think in the States and Canada you guys refer it to strap. Glad they didn't use this kind of strap when I was at school, but that would really hurt. But anyway, so you get this pulled apart and let's get into it. Okay, so old bottom half of the loop removed. So that was it there, and it sort of took me ages to make that, but never mind. So what I could essentially do that, but you know, could I? Don't know. Pretty sure they like to have a curve in it, but anyway, got a pretty simple plan. I'm just going to put some basic sort of bends in this, so it'll come along flat and then sort of tip down, tip back up, just have a bit of a shape to it to, I don't know, control the drive shaft if it ever shears off at the UJ or something like that, and doesn't want to go nugga all around the place. So I'm going to make a little template out of maybe some welding wire or something exciting like that to get my kind of, start getting my kind of shape and my angles in line. There we go, one of them. So what I want to do is I'm going to come along about there, do a little, hopefully I can actually make these bends that I'm kind of planning on doing. Something along these lines, like that. So it's just kind of like that, really. It doesn't even need to kick down that far. Okie dokie, right. So I'll just do a quick mark for where my first fold's going to go. That one there. And there's a very bright yellow Pontiac just rolling past. It's going to go there. There, and then we'll do some accurate measuring. 30mm, there to there, and then approximate cut, say 120, just do a rough mark there, like that. Oh. So that's approximately where my folds are going to go on this new lower part of the drive shaft loop. So I have to transfer two of them over to the other side because they're going to get folded from the other side. So just go like that. There. And there, like so. Right, to the press we go, that way. Right. Bit of this. Doesn't need too much. A little bit more. There. Remove. Right. Do that again. Took that one a little bit too far. Could be straightened out just the tiniest scotch. Perfect. Right. Sorry. Alrighty, so there we have it. That's my basic bottom part of my drive shaft loop. So all I've got to do now is just sort of go and mark where I've got to cut it, where I've got to drill it, and that's pretty much it. So that's nice and simple. Well, famous last words, I'll probably drill the holes in the wrong place and something like that. That racket. Yeah, so anyway, let's go and mark this and sort that out. Alright, so that's just going to sit there like that. Nice and clean, nice and simple. Just got to get it in the right place. Might even get some clamps onto this so I can kind of mark it a bit more accurately. Clamps. A little bit sideways, hammer. wondering whether I should try and drill them while it's in place, just so the holes all line up how they're supposed to line up. Maybe? Nah. So that's the pilot holes drilled. Part of the specification on these drive shaft loops is the fastener sizes and stuff, so we have to put a 10mm or something or other 16ths or whatever it is. We're going to put a 10mm hole through those, but I might just check my alignment before I go too much further. You know what I'm saying? Alright, see if it fits. Make sure all the bolts actually line up. Be a good start. Quite often when I do stuff like this, I always drill one hole slightly out. So far so good. Fits better than the old one did. Alright. I won't bother tightening all those up, they line up, so that's how it works. Well, that's pretty much it, other than maybe squirting some black hitch around the place and kind of cleaning this area up. Got a bit of surface rust to deal with on here, but you know, it's nothing a little wire wheeling won't take care of. Hopefully that's all good with the low volume certification requirements. They call it a loop or a hoop, but it's kind of containment really is what we're after. If that thing ever lets go, it won't go nugga 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 all around the place. So here we have it. Right, pull it all apart, squirt some primer around the place. Hey, update. Right, so had a bit of trouble with my last and only can of duplicolor rust fix. Nozzle's a bit screwy, but I got it working and gave it a bit of a squirt around, and then went and had some lunch. I figured since I'm here I might as well sand that up, prep it up, get some black etch on there, and then that's another part done. So that's where we're at. Right, just got to squirt a bit of etch on there, and then all this is cooked. Well guys, there it is, all complete. A little bit of finished up welding, new gussets and a new bottom for the old drive shaft loop, and a little bit of etching primer to just seal it up for now. So another little task ticked off the list. Right, so that's it for this riveting episode of Area 51 update. And if it's your first time here and you've actually made it this far, subscribe. You'll get to see more of the progress as it goes along. If you're a returning visitor, thanks for sticking with it and watching all of this excitement. And having trouble with my language speaking skills right this minute. It's getting quite warm, so I'm a little bit anyway. Yeah, so like I say, subscribe, share, like, comment, any questions, fire away. Yeah, and as always, thanks for watching. Till next time, take it easy and peace.